Sometimes you do everything right, yet life stays silent and nothing moves.
If you've ever felt like this, then this story is for you.
In a modest village surrounded by wide wheat fields and slow, moving clouds, there lived a man named Vijay. The village was not poor, but it was never generous either. It gave only what it wished, and never more. Vijay had been born into this rhythm, and had learned early not to expect ease. Vijay was known as a man of effort. Not because he spoke of his struggles, but because people saw them. He did not complain when his hands cracked from cold water. He did not curse the sun when it burned his back. He did not steal shortcuts from fate or envy the luck of others. Each morning, long before birds stirred in their nests, Vijay rose from his thin mat. He washed his face with water drawn from the clay pot, cold enough to wake even tired bones. He tied his worn sandals, stepped outside, and walked toward the fields with steady, practiced hands. Yet life seemed unmoved by his sincerity. The soil resisted him no matter how carefully he worked it. The harvest remained thin, season after season. Coins came into his palm and slipped away again, as quickly as breath leaves the body. At night, when the village grew quiet and lamps flickered behind small windows, Vijay sat outside his mud, brick home. He leaned against the wall, knees drawn close, and stared at the sky where stars blinked silently, as if they knew something he did not. "God," he whispered into the dark, his voice barely louder than the wind, "I am trying. Why is everything so quiet?" No answer came. Only the soft sound of dry grass brushing against itself, and the distant bark of a dog. Vijay carried a simple dream, one he rarely spoke aloud. He wanted to open a small grain shop near the main road, a modest place, nothing grand. Travelers passed that road every day. If he could sell wheat, flour, and warm bread, his family would finally breathe easier. In his mind, he saw it clearly. Sacks of grain stacked neatly against the wall. Fresh bread resting on clean cloth. His mother sitting nearby. Her worry softened, her hands finally at rest. Slowly, patiently, Vijay began to save. He kept his coins in a small cloth pouch tied with string. Some weeks he dropped in only one coin. Other weeks, none at all. Still, he tied the pouch shut and told himself that even small steps mattered. Months passed before the pouch felt heavy enough. When it did, Vijay walked to the town elder's home with quiet hope in his chest. The elder listened carefully, his face kind but tired. When Vijay finished speaking, the elder shook his head. "That land near the road has already been claimed," he said gently. "You came too late." Vijay bowed his head, thanked him, and walked away without argument. That night, the pouch lay unopened beside him. Hope sat quietly, wounded but not yet gone. Time passed, as it always does. Another chance arrived when word spread that a merchant from the city would soon pass through the village. He needed a helper, someone strong, honest, and willing to travel. When Vijay heard this, his heart lifted for the first time in many weeks. This could be it, he thought. This could finally be the opening. But the night before the merchant's arrival, his mother collapsed. Her fever rose suddenly. Her breathing grew shallow. Her hands trembled as she tried to sit up. Vijay stayed by her side through the night, cooling her forehead with damp cloth, whispering prayers he had learned as a child. He did not sleep. By morning, the merchant had come and gone. The road closed again. Still, heaven said nothing. Weariness crept into Vijay, not into his muscles, but into his hope. One afternoon, while repairing a broken fence at the edge of the fields, he noticed an old man sitting beneath a fig tree. The tree was older than the village itself, its roots thick and exposed like veins. The man's name was Imran. Imran owned very little and spoke even less. Yet people said that sitting near him felt like resting after a long walk. Imran watched Vijay struggle with the stubborn wood for a long moment. "Why do you fight the fence so fiercely, son?" he asked. Vijay paused, sweat running down his face. "Because if I stop," he said quietly, "my life will remain exactly where it is." Imran rose slowly, leaning on his stick. "Come," he said. "Walk with me." They walked beyond the fields to a dry well, its stones cracked with age. "This well once served many," Imran said. "Now it holds only dust." Vijay nodded. "Some places," Imran continued, "cannot give life anymore, no matter how much effort you pour into them." They walked farther, to a low patch of dark soil. Imran knelt, touched the earth, and placed a small seed in Vijay's palm. "Plant this near your home," he said. "Water it. Protect it. And say nothing." No explanation followed. Vijay planted the seed beside his wall, where rainwater naturally gathered. Days passed. Nothing appeared. Neighbors stepped over the spot without noticing. Vijay watered the soil anyway. Weeks passed. Still nothing. Doubt returned like an old ache, but Vijay remained silent. Then one morning, after a long rain, a small green shoot broke through the earth. It was fragile, yet alive. Something inside Vijay softened. Seasons moved quietly. The plant grew into a tree. Its branches stretched wide. Its shade deepened. Travelers stopped there to rest. Vijay placed a bench beneath it. Then a jug of water. Then bread. Without planning it, he had built a resting place. One year, a caravan stopped longer than usual. The travelers were grateful. "Who made this place?" they asked. "I only cared for what was given," Vijay replied. From then on, they returned each season, bringing trade supplies and steady work. Vijay never became rich, but his home never lacked again. One evening, Vijay sat beneath the tree, listening to the leaves whisper. He remembered every closed door, the denied land, the missed merchant, the long waiting. Nothing had been wasted. Dear listener, maybe your life feels silent right now. No answers, no signs, no movement. But silence does not mean absence. God works in silence. And the process is never wasted. If this story brought a little calm to your heart, you are always welcome here. Subscribe. And let us walk through more quiet stories together.